straightforward workout today. If you watch the video, it's 4 different moves. We're just gonna move through them. They're all body weight. The first one's a little fast, but there's only 5 repetitions, and I'll give an alternate if you kind of want to avoid anything fast today and just avoid any sort of like impact at all. Otherwise, yeah, the other ones I'll provide simple modifications for as well, but everything outside of the very first move is going to be just a mat-based core exercise, so should be pretty good for any level. I'll also give some options on how to make them a little harder. So if you do want to make a couple of the moves a little harder, I would suggest maybe just having a moderate weight on hand. I'm going to show my examples with my usual dumbbell, which is 25 pounds, but I would definitely suggest for most people to go lighter than that. Maybe something closer to 10, 12 pound range, something like that. Okay, so we'll give like 20 more seconds and then start Zoom stuff. I just guess mute yourself so it's mostly me, especially because I'm trying to record these for people to use later. So it'll make it look a little better if it's mostly just me on the screen for those wanting to do it outside of the live schedule. So to get started, let's just do we'll do our normal warm-up. We're gonna start with some jumping jacks. So 2 options here, getting right into the jumping jacks, jumping in and out, or if you prefer to just get the shoulders warmed up, start moving a little bit and taking the jumps out, just tap to the side, tap to the side. Either way, we're making sure to keep the toes forward, no turnout in the feet, and we're also making sure to bring our hands all the way above our heads to start to open and warm the shoulders. And start to think about our posture even during these jumping jacks. So not letting the shoulders come up to the ears, using our back muscles to draw the shoulders down and in towards the spine. We're only going to go through this one time this time, so just make sure, keep going. Everyone's in here. Awesome. Okay. Great. So let's get about 15 more in. Oh, I almost forgot how to jump jack. 5, 3. Okay, last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good. And we'll go right into some lunges. We definitely did plenty of lunges yesterday if you were here, so don't worry. The only lunges we're doing today are right here in the warm-up. So big step back into the lunge, making sure that an even amount of weight is in each foot as you sink down into your lunge. Your feet are hip distance apart. People tend to put them too close together, which just makes balance harder for no reason. Toes forward, pushing through the heel to the standing position. All right, let's get 4 more on each side. 3, 2 more. Last one. Okay, good. And then right into our set of plank walkouts. So hands to the toes, walk out into a plank, full plank, good positioning, and then back up. So let's keep our legs straight for as much of this movement as we can to get a good stretch along the back of your legs. So I guess I'll do like a fun hamstring fact. A lot of the time our hamstrings can be too tight, and since they work at the same time as our glutes, our butt muscles, if they're too tight and over-engaged, it will be hard for us to actually get our glutes to work. So the hamstrings will just automatically dominate all those movements that should be using both muscles. So it's a really good idea usually to kind of stretch your hamstrings out before, kind of loosen them up so that you're able to kind of transfer some more of that work into those bigger glute muscles that should be powering big movements. So Your hamstrings should be little helpers in a lot of these movements, but they shouldn't be like the primary muscle working all the time, but it's easy to kind of default to that for most people. Okay, good. Let's come all the way down on this next one onto our hands and knees position and finish our warm up with our 10 bird dogs. So tight abs, flat back, extend out, tuck in. I'm just gonna get my knees onto the mat, extend out, tuck in, resisting that urge to rotate and also resisting the urge to tilt your pelvis forward and arch your back. Let's get 5 more on this side. 5, 4, I'm too tall, but I wanted to do it on this angle so you can actually kind of see me a little better. Okay, good, and then we'll switch sides, same thing. Other side, opposing arm, extending out, pointing the toe down, tucking in and out. Only 10 of these, and then we're gonna get right into our first set. So like I said, we're gonna try to go through these 4 movements that I'm gonna show you as many times as we can in 20 minutes, but we'll take a like 30-second break between rounds to give everyone a chance to catch up and to make sure we're getting a little bit of rest so we can put all of our best effort into each round. Last one. Okay, so our 4 moves, to remind you, our fastest move is this first one. It's a burpee variation. We're gonna go jumping up, out. When you're in the plank, we're gonna go down onto the elbows, back up and in. So if you don't wanna jump or you don't wanna go up and down that much, first modification, just challenge yourself and your upper body strength to do this part up and down. That's our first modification. Our second modification is, of course, just to take the jumping out, so do the full movement, but stand, step out, okay? So those are your options. You can always also go down onto the knees for this portion of the movement if the push up and down from the 2 plank positions is too challenging for your shoulders. Just drop to your knees for that portion and then pop back up onto your toes for the rest. So you've got a few little ways to modify there. Our next movement, we're gonna go into 10 leg drops. So lying on the ground, down and up. This is one where you can add a weight for challenge above the head. Into 15 sit-ups. Again, if you wanna add a weight for challenge and a little more upper body strength, you can do so there. 15 sit-ups. And then we're gonna do 20 little lower back Superman extensions. So up, down, up, down. All right, cool. So let's give it a try. We'll start with our burpees in about 5 seconds after I get our timer up. We'll go 4, 3, 2, and go. So out, elbow, up. That's 1. We're only doing 5. So remember your modifications, just stick with the version you've chosen. You might fit a couple extra in if you've chosen to just stay down in that plank portion. That's okay, just do it until I'm done. All right, already in 5 in, down onto our mat, grabbing our weight if we want to, for some extra abdominal and oblique tension, and then down, 3, 2, 1, up, 3, 2, 1. 10 of these. I'm going to tell you all the cues to make it the hardest possible for right now. So my toes are pointed, my feet and my legs are glued together, my legs are flexed, strong, powerful legs. My back is pushing actively down into the mat to avoid any arch. And I'm just limiting my range of motion. Wherever I feel my back start to arch, that can be the end for me, and I go back up to the top. So whether that's all the way to the ground, or it's just like 7, 8 inches down, better to limit the range of motion than do the full range poorly. All right, 2 more. 9, Last one. Once you're at 10, if you have that weight, you can still keep it. We'll just extend the legs along the mat and sit up and down. So if you have any resistance in this move, the further over your head you keep it, the harder it's gonna be. The more in front of you you keep it, the more of a counterbalance it's gonna act as. Oh, interesting sentence. Yeah, so great time to focus on your spinal alignment here, everything coming up in order, every vertebrae going down in order. So I'm already at 6. I've got 9 more, 7, 8, 9, 10, last 5. I think the hardest part to control here is the pace on the way down. 4. Now, if you're not able to get yourself all the way up into a sit-up, that's totally fine. But just do a crunch, getting your shoulders as far off the mat as you're able to. Last one. Good. Okay, so if you found you couldn't get yourself all the way up and you were stuck in that crunch position, that's totally fine. You might just end up adding a few extra repetitions compared to the rest of the group. So into our last move here, we're gonna do a set of little Superman lower back extensions. So hands underneath the chin. Again, feet and legs glued together and toes pointed. And then up, squeeze your glutes, engage your abs, down. So 20 of these, 19, 18. Just take a second at the top to pause, make sure you've got that full engagement. This movement, we're strengthening a lot of the same muscles as we do in a bridge. So we've got all those muscles running along the sides of your spine, super important for posture. Halfway, we've got 10 more, and then we'll grab a little water before we go back into our next set of the first move. 3, well, 14, 15. Think about your shoulders too. Make sure they're not coming up to your ears. Good posture. Last one, let's just hold this last one up for a few extra seconds. Really squeezing everything tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good. So let's grab a little water. We'll take about 20 seconds off and then get back into our second set of burpees. You've been through it once, so you can kind of be a little more like intentional about which variation you choose. We're gonna go again in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And up. So if you're doing the full version here, or any version where you're performing this plank add-on, try to make sure to alternate sides so that both of your arms are getting a decent amount of work. 3. You don't want to always be pushing up on your right arm. 4. Okay, 5, good. Right into our leg drops. I'm adding that weight again. But if you need to modify further rather than progressing, just place those hands right beneath your hips. 3, 2, 1. Just a reminder to go slow, counting for the first couple. Whew. So 3. Other great modification might be to do one leg at a time, cutting down on the amount of weight your abs are working against. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 2 more. And then right into our sit-ups. 9. 10. All right, place those feet on the ground. Keep your weight if you want, and up and down. I'm just gonna switch the way I'm gripping this. It's kind of digging into my hands. All right, up. We'll see if that's better. Down, up, down, up, down. All right, I have 9 more. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 more. 5, 4. Ooh, getting too hard. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, all right. That one got hard for me by the end. Okay, right into our last move of this set. We've got 20 lower back extensions here. So if you wanted to make it a little harder, you can bring your hands in front of you. And we'll go up and down. Toes pointed. 3, 4, 5. It's a small movement. It's really just as far as you can get your chest off the mat without letting your abs go. So 9, 10. I've got 10 more here. 10, 9, 8. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming to your ears. 7, 6. If you need to take away some intensity, you can bring your hands back to your sides. 4, 3, 2, and last one, hold up a few extra seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Okay, a little bit of water. We've got 2 rounds in 10 minutes, so I think we can get 2 more, and then we'll call it a day for our ab workout. So let's give it another 10 seconds, and then we'll get right back into our third set of burpees. All right, 3, 2, 1, and go. So down. Switching which hand I'm initiating my plank movement with. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Getting into our second move again. Leg drops. Weighted or not, so many options for how to make this harder or easier. Nice and slow in each direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3 more, 8, 9, and 10. Good. All right, got a little. Extend the legs along the ground. 15 sit-ups. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, less than 10 left. 7. If you end up just doing the crunches, I would just suggest getting maybe up to 20 because they're going to be a little faster, but that depends on how tired you are. 9, 10, last 5 sit-ups. 5, 4, 3, 2. If they're not getting hard by the end, you should be probably choosing a different variation. Okay, good. 15 of those done. We're always taking a little break at the end, so if you're a little behind me, don't worry about it. Just get in the full reps, and we'll go into our low back extension. So up, down, up, down, up, down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, last 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, hold up a few more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, good. Just grab a little water. We have one more round and then we're all the way done with our workout. So. Okay. So let's go again, 5 seconds. We just have to get through these moves all one more time. So if there's a different variation you've been wanting to try, now's your chance. It's your last chance. We'll start now. Out, down, up, in, down, up, in, down, up, in. Now I forget if I've done 4 or 5, so I'm gonna do one more. Pretty sure that was 5. All right. Done with those for the day. We've only got our slower moves left. Definitely looking forward to getting my normal dumbbells in the mail. These are pretty awkward to hold. So if you can push yourself at this point to get your legs just a little straighter and closer together, push your back a little harder down into the mat. 4, another time. 5, We've got 5 more. 4 more. Maybe 3. Get yourself just to go a little lower down towards the floor without letting your abs go. 2 more. Last one. Okay, good. Okay, so into our sit-ups. 15 sit-ups. 3, 4, 5. All right, last 10 of the day. 9, 8, 7. Okay, good. 6. Nice and slow, controlled in both directions. 5 more. 4. Oh, hardest one of the day for me, for sure. 3 more. Last one after this, okay? Sit up and control yourself on the way down. And set the weight to the side. Okay, last move of our day. We got our Superman. Okay, let's start now. So up, down, up, down. 3, 4, 5, 6. Really glue your legs together. 7, 10. Last 10. 10, 9, 8, 7. Again, hands are to the side if you need to modify. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Nice. We're all the way done. Let's just kind of fall back into a child's pose to stretch to relax, kind of stretch the back and arms out. And from here, we'll come into all fours, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, and then start to reach your hands out in front of you and press your chest and armpits down into the mat. So this is a good stretch for our shoulders and our lats, 2 areas that get very tight from all that sitting at desk all day. Hold a little longer. It can get uncomfortable, I know, but we really want to get into the full depth of the stretch. And then just carefully come back up and draw one leg forward into a nice deep lunge. We'll get the hip flexors, another kind of set of muscles that gets really tight from sitting all day, or really anything, biking up hills, walking. So just make sure you're not letting your knees collapse towards the midline of your body. They're kind of pointing straight down or a little out. And then we can place both hands down on the ground between the legs. Bring the stretch a little bit more into that inner thigh part of your hip. Especially good stretch if you were here yesterday, we did a lot of side lunges. So got really into those inner thighs. If you want to deepen, you can always put your elbows down onto the mat. Still making sure you're not letting your knees collapse in. And then come up and we'll switch sides. This will be our last stretch of the day, but if you need any extra stretches, you can always stay after and ask me. I'm happy to help with ideas. We can drop our hands down towards the mat and bend our elbows a bit if you need to. Hold there for a little bit longer. And come up, and let's just turn halfway into a little wider stance hamstring stretch. I guess I lied. We'll do this last stretch as well. So kind of mess around with this one where the weight is in your feet. If you kind of let it fall forward into your toes, maybe you feel a good stretch along that bottom part of your hamstring, right in your knee, kind of where your hamstrings and your calf muscles are meeting. If you shift your weight a little further back into the heels and imagine you're shoving your butt back to the wall behind you, maybe you bring your stretch a little further up in the hamstring towards where it's tying into your glutes. And also just side to side, like putting more pressure on one foot than the other, see how that feels. Lots of small little shifts you can do to change the nature of the stretch. Okay, good, awesome. So good job. Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will be back for the 30-minute core next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the slightly faster paced strength conditioning classes on Wednesdays and Fridays and Sundays at 10:30 a.m. on Sunday. So yeah, awesome. You can unmute yourself if you have any questions. Otherwise, that's all I have for you.